Today we're going to talk to a woman who is one of the leaders of an organization providing many needed personal services for the health and well-being of our community. Joy in the City, True Stories is a program that highlights people and organizations having an impact in our city. All too often we hear about the problems and the dysfunction in our culture. But we're coming from a different approach as we look at the good things that are going on right here in our community. I'm Bethany Marshall, and you're about to see what God is doing in our city. Recently, we had the privilege to talk with Wendy Belinda of Through Inc., one of East Freedom's best kept secrets. Through Inc. is an organization that empowers individuals to overcome challenges of life by providing them with the resources and a group of people who are well-connected, compassionate, and committed to their future success. Our correspondent, Therese Miller, sits down with Wendy to discuss the multi-layered organization impacting many in their community.
So explain to us how you got started and maybe bring us from that to present day to what programs you have going on now.
Let's see. In 1997, 1998, my pastor, Ed Jelliff, had an assignment and a vision while he was in Bible college to do something for the community. And he felt God said, put it down. Someone else is going to come along, and that's when it's going to grow. So then you fast forward to 2008, and I was shopping. I was actually at Home Depot, which is quite hysterical because I don't do any do-it-yourself stuff. So why I was there, I don't know. All God. And I'm shopping, and I have a cart full of things, and I closed my eyes, just blinked and opened, and I know God gave me his eyes for a moment because everybody I looked at, I could see their pain. And one person's was physical, and the next was emotional, and the next was spiritual. And I just started sobbing because it was too much, And I called Pastor Ed. I went out to my car, and I just was crying, going, we have a community of people who are hurting, and it's not just one area. We have to do something. I can't not do something. God gave me his eyes for a moment. That's a gift. We need to do something with it. And he said, write down what you see. Write down what you see for us to do, and meet me at Barnes & Noble. And I wrote down things, and he brought his papers from when he was in Bible college, and they almost lined up word for word. So we started Through on a napkin at Barnes & Noble, and then from there we just got some like-minded people and said we need to help people where they're at. We want to help people through whatever obstacle in life that they're going through, physical, emotional, social, spiritual. And we ran it out of my house for 2 years. And then the school where we're at, East Freedom's elementary school, it's the old building, came up for sale. And $250,000, it was for sale. We bid $240,000, and we had $90 in our checking account, and they accepted our bid. And so we went to the bank and said, this is what we want to do. We want to connect people. We want to connect them for life with available resources. And they went, great, good luck. And they didn't give us a loan. Nobody would touch us. So a couple from our congregation put their property up for mortgage so we could get this building. So now we're self-sufficient, and Through owns the building. We started off with having 2 churches that we housed here, and we are down to 1 church now, New Life Alliance. That's Pastor Ed Jelliff, the founder of Through, his church. And we have a school for children with autism and behavioral health issues that we house as well, and the Scarlet Dragon Backpack Program. And initially we did not have a free healthcare clinic, but a year after we were here, we decided we saw the need for people in the community that needed free healthcare. So we started a free healthcare clinic, and we ended up being, Dr. Doug Stern is our medical director, and it was him and I that ran it. I'm an RN, so it was him and I that ran this clinic by ourselves, and we started getting so many people that were coming. And how we got hooked up with, it was called the River Practice, and it was the first virtual nurse practitioner clinic in the nation, and they decided to use us as their pilot program. That's all God. I don't know how we got connected with them, but Dr. Mona Counts started seeing our patients, and she has been a blessing to us for the past, I want to say 4 years. And recently she just passed away. But she was the coolest woman I have ever met in my entire life. But we would see patients virtually. And the nurses would be, the eyes and the ears and assess the patients for her. And then we do have a nurse practitioner that would come in one Saturday a month and see patients who physically needed to be seen. We are now transitioning into health and wellness with the passing of Dr. Mona Counts, and then our numbers going down with the healthcare reform. We went from seeing 350 patients a year to less than 50 and decided we needed to really focus on health and wellness. And so that's where we're transitioning. Our last clinic day of seeing patients and being able to prescribe medications and diagnose them is in June. And then we're going straight to health and wellness. We've been working with St. Francis University for the past 4 years. We are part of their clinical rotation for their nursing program, and the assistant director of nursing is going to be coming down, and she started a program called Wellness Without Walls, and starting to educate patients on hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. So we're going to try to bring wellness to the forefront because that's where we're seeing that people really need to focus on. From seeing patients in the clinic, I noticed so many of them could have controlled their symptoms and their disease or dis-ease within their body through health and wellness, through food, through exercise.
So you kind of went from healthcare to preventative care. Yes. Is where you're headed.
That's where we are headed. And through that, I went and got myself certified to teach P90X and PIO, and that's how I started going, I'm going to offer this free to the community. Anybody can come. I teach 7 to 8 free fitness classes per week here, and started with P90X and PIO, and then thought, how can I incorporate faith and fitness together? And that's where I found Revelation Wellness. And their focus, they are fitness, but it's not on the fitness. It's not about the food. It's not about the fitness. It's about your faith. It's about your heart, getting your heart aligned with God. Because when you get that aligned, everything else falls into place. The fitness is just a tool to bring people, to help them grow closer to Christ. It's just a tool.
And we talked about that earlier, about intertwining our faith with these other things, and that creating a healthy person as a whole, physically and spiritually and mentally. Right. So tell us what you have going on here as far as counseling and the mental wellness part of things.
We do offer Christian counseling. That is separate from the clinic, but it became birthed from the clinic, seeing patients and their mental needs, their emotional needs. It wasn't just physical needs that were being seen through the clinic and needed taken care of. So we do offer Christian counseling. We do have a licensed counselor here. So people can just call through and we can get you connected with that as well.
So you're a fitness instructor here, and that came later. Yes. You decided to get involved in that, and you are certified, I assume.
Yes, I am certified in P90X, in PIO, as a group fitness instructor through Revelation Wellness, which is a faith-based group fitness instructor training. I went through that, as well as Holy Yoga, which is Christ-centered yoga.
That's very cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Very cool, yes.
Isn't that cool?
Yes. And we talked about the farmer's market and that whole realm of things, the healthy eating.
Yes. With the transition of the clinic, we are going to the wellness and prevention. We got connected to Care for Creation at the monastery on Reservoir Road. And now we're going to be part of their charitable rotation. So we're going to be offering a farmer's market to the public, and it's all going to be by donation. So if whatever you can afford, and if that's nothing, that's nothing. But we're going to have the farmer's market here, but we're also going to have food prepared so you can do tasting on what do you do with kale. So many people may not know what to do with fresh produce. So we'll have recipes ready, be able to taste it, and then we're going to also try to incorporate like recipes with zucchinis that are kid-friendly. So kids will have no idea that they're even eating it and they're getting a serving of vegetables. But I think so many people don't know what healthy eating really is. we're so used to fast food and processed food that they're not sure what to do with fresh produce when it comes across their table. So we're going to help with that. And we're going to do that the same day that we have Wellness Without Walls with St. Francis. So it's kind of going to be a nice one-stop shopping for everybody to come in, and let's do some education on your, diabetes, on obesity, on hypertension. Here, let's show you how to eat healthier. And we may start incorporating other things on those days as well. And we also want to offer people who are having issues with navigating the healthcare system. Let us help you with that. We've been doing this for years. We would call and beg different doctors' offices, please, please, please take this patient for us. The healthcare system is a scary place to navigate. So if we can help you with that, that's also something we're bringing to life as well.
I'm encouraged that you don't, like, the whole healthcare aspect of it has kind of started to diminish, because when we talk about the affordable healthcare, it kind of puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. But in your situation, it really is a good thing, because you went from 300 patients to 40 because of that.
Right.
So that tells me there are more people being covered, and that's very encouraging.
That is encouraging. It's the healthcare system is just this little slippery slope of, what's right, what's not, and trying to figure it out. So our role as taking in patients and being more like a clinic is now shifting to the wellness. So that is a good thing for us. That's a good thing for people as well, incorporating that. And I know I started a Facebook page called Growing in Grace Wellness, and that's what we really want to do. We're calling it our weekly get to. So each day we're going to have something different that you can come and engage in. Like Mondays will be Meaningful Mondays, and we'll have a devotion or inspirational words. Tuesdays will be, a Tuesday tip, and it may be something on stress management, on nutrition, a life hack, just something. Wednesdays will be Wednesdays what? Because it's all movement. I'm going to have different movement challenges, different workouts. Thursdays is where everybody can participate. You're going to be Thankful Thursdays, and you get to post what you are thankful for. And Fridays will be Foodie Friday, so we'll have different recipes and game-changing foods. Now, I don't know if you have any game-changing foods, but I'm going to give away our first one. Dark chocolate hummus is a game changer. Amazing. It is life-changing, just saying. Try it.
Can't imagine.
So good. So good. My husband, he always says I eat bark. He goes, the way you eat bark. He likes the dark chocolate hummus. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the future? What's some future goals that you have? As we know, ministry goals always change. You have to change as the world changes in some regards.
Absolutely. Right now, I also teach at Co-Forge. I teach Holy Yoga and Rev Fit classes there. I would really like to expand that and get into the population, the marginalized population, the people that are spiritually poor, which we all can be. But I would like to see that expand. I would like to see the fitness expand. I would want to do retreats. That's really where I would like to start offering different things, is doing a retreat where you can come, you can, get rebuilt. You get to define what's happening in your life, then redefine it, and then you can go out and shine. So that's my ultimate big goal, is I would love to do that and have it be affordable, because I see different retreats that are so expensive that you just can't afford to do that. I would like to offer something for anybody and everybody to come. So I keep thinking my workouts and through Revelation Wellness, they have different meetups that we do, are like mini retreats, where you come, the meetups are a 3-hour event where you get a Bible study, you get a workout, you get to start building community. And right now, I just got finished doing the Wellness Revelation, which is an 8-week Bible study, which focuses on weight loss. And we're all like, oh, weight loss. But it's not the weight loss you're thinking. It's what's weighing you down. That's preventing you from moving forward and loving people. The whole part of Revelation Wellness is to love God, to get healthy, be whole, so you can love others. And that's really what I want to focus on is how do we become healthy and whole so we can love others, put God first, Christ-centered, and just keep going from there.
And I agree with that. I think a lot of times how we see God is we see him through how we see ourselves.
Yes.
So if we can get see ourselves a little differently,
Yes.
healthier and like ourselves, it kind of changes the way we see
Yeah,
God.
I agree
It
with
shouldn't
that.
be that way, but it's just how we are.
It is.
Yeah.
Exercise is the least utilized antidepressant in the country, but one of the most effective. And I think sometimes we want that quick fix. We all want that quick fix. Take that pill, take this, and being able to recognize that it's God first. Focus on God. You get your heart aligned with God, the rest of it will fall into place. Get the vertical aligned, the horizontal will come with it. So it is just redirecting your focus, redirecting your eyes, redirecting where our hearts need to be. And then, the moment that you start focusing on that, the moment that you start focusing on God and allowing him to come into your life, he's going to give you an all-access pass to his heart.
How specifically are you funded?
Donations and the rent from NHS, or Marquee now, that they help pay our bills, but it's all by donation.
This is more or less, this is a labor of love for you.
Yeah, it is a labor of love. I'm doing this because this is what God has called me to do, And you can't say no to God. You can, but,
You catch people or things or ideas and you bring them in, and then once they grow to a certain point,
Right.
you can release them
Right.
out into the world
Right.
to expand on it,
Right.
probably greater than you could do in here because you have
Yes.
so many different things going on.
Right.
And I feel like you've kind of done that with a lot of things.
I think so. I that's a great way of putting it, catch and release. I
yeah,
like that.
like your food pantry.
Yes, it no longer is here. And I know what Rich was saying with the food pantry. He said it kind of lived its life. It lived its purpose, and they thought they were going to be able to get into people's lives more, and the people who were coming just wanted the food. They didn't want to interact. And originally with the food pantry, they wanted to do, they did it by credits. And for each person, you got 10 credits, and you could go shopping and pick the things that you wanted. After 6 months, you would start to lose those credits, but you could earn them back by volunteering at the food pantry, going to church, doing different things. But with the Central PA Food Bank, they said that's bartering and you can't do that. And they were using it as more of accountability to keep you coming. Like, look, let's, the food pantry's here and we want to help you, but we also want you to grow. We don't want it to be a handout, and we want it to be a hand up. How can we help you better? And the Central PA Food Bank wouldn't go for that. Considered bartering.
It's easier just to go out and buy it.
It's easier. That's the word.
Yeah,
It's easier.
But processed foods are not cheaper.
No.
But it's kind of what we revert to. So and then if you do buy something healthy, it's hard to figure out what you're going to do with it
Right.
because you're not used to cooking that way.
If you don't know, how do
Yeah,
you know? When
you
you know
don't.
you can do better.
Right.
When you know you can do better.
And I like that that's what you're teaching
Yeah.
people is you can buy this zucchini and let me show you what you're going to make with it, and you're going to be very surprised.
And I agree to a certain point that it is cheaper to buy a bag of cheesies than it is a bag of apples. I agree with that to a certain extent. But when you start investing in healthier foods, what happens is you get sustained. Your appetite is sustained. You are filled up and full because those foods are going to fill you up. They're nutrient dense. That's what they are intended to be. When you get processed food, it's empty calories. There is no nutritional value to it. It's gonna fuel your body. It's gonna, just like putting bad gas in a car. It's still gonna run. But the healthier and the better foods that you put in your body, the more efficiently it's gonna run. So you're not gonna have to buy an abundance of things because you are filling up your body with good things so it'll run properly, and then that your appetite is suppressed.
How do you promote all of these things? How's the word getting out that you're here, and how do people know that you even have a cooking class or a farmer's market?
Word of mouth, Facebook. We have the website. I am not tech smart. That's not my gifting, nor do I have, or ever claimed it to be. We do have people that volunteer and help with the website, so it's really word of mouth, Facebook, and the website right now.
About how many people do you have coming to your exercise classes?
Ooh, let's see. If I'm going by waivers, I have almost, I want to say 280 waivers signed. On average, I have about 10 to 15 people coming per class. So it just varies. It just varies. The Rev Fit classes that I was doing, or the Revelation Fitness classes that I just started, more so, I have 8 ladies that come regularly, and they just finished the Wellness Revelation, and now more people are starting to come to those classes, which it's fun stuff. With the Revelation Wellness classes, it's fun things. People think that when you work out, I'm not going to be able to do that, and we use different like songs, like Justin Bieber. There's a song he sings, "What do you mean?" Every time he says, "What do you mean?" you do 2 jumping jacks. Well, by the end of the song, the women are going, "What? How many times does he say that?" I'm like, "He says it 27 times. You just did 54 jumping jacks." But if I would say to you at the beginning of class, "We're going to do 54 jumping jacks," you turn around and you leave. "I'm not going to do 54 jumping jacks." Yes, you did. Yes, you did. People have no idea the potential of what they can do. We stop way short of what we can do, but if you make it fun, if you make it seem like you're not even working out, people have a tendency to move their body more.
Share with us, and like I said, I'm just unraveling.
Okay.
So, but just share with us a ministry story, like something that stands out to you, a life that was changed, or a success story.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I have a lady that has just gone through the Wellness Revelation with me, and she messaged me before it started and said, I can't do the exercises. I'm overweight and I can't do them. So I'm really afraid to come. And I'm like, just come. We will dedicate, and we don't call it modifying. You're dedicated to doing this movement any way that your body can. I said, you just need to listen to your body, and your body's going to tell you what it can do and what it doesn't need to do. I said, just come. Just come. And 2 weeks ago, she came to me and at the end of class and was in tears. And she said, I didn't think that I could move my body. I didn't think I could do the things that you were asking me to do. She said, but I have been able to do every single thing you've done. She said, I don't think you understand what that's done for me. She said, my heart is full, and I know now that I can move. So that's one thing with the fitness. At Cove Forge, I had a woman, and this is drug and alcohol addiction, an inpatient rehab facility. And I had one woman come up to me after the Holy Yoga, and she was sobbing and said, how did you get in my head? And I'm like, I have no idea, honey. That's God. That's not me. And she said, you spoke. She said, how did you understand what I was going through? And I was speaking about how God uses the most unlikely people. I talked about Rahab being a prostitute, and David, who was a king who still murdered his best friend. And she just started sobbing, and she said, how did you know that I was a prostitute? How did you know that I sold my body for drugs? And how did you know that I was a murderer? And I'm like, honey, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you explain this to me more? And she said, I've had 5 abortions. She said, I am a prostitute and I'm a murderer. And she said, tonight, and this makes me want to cry every time I talk about this, she said, tonight was the first time that I have been set free from that. And she said, I actually forgave myself for the first time, and I've asked Christ into my heart because of this. So that's incredible stuff right there. And that's not me, that's God. I'm not taking any credit for that. That was through an exercise class. Yeah. It's a get to. You get to move your body, and in the process of moving your body, you get to allow God in. And the more you let God in, the more God can come out.
As always, another amazing story of what God is doing through people right here in our community. We want to encourage you to tell your story, regardless if it's about an organization or a personal testimony. We feel it's important to capture what's going on in the lives of people, and we have found time and time again, every story we do, we find people that say they needed to hear that story that day. Please contact us at the office at 944-1948 or by email at stories@jointhecity.org. That's all the time we have today. Thanks for watching Join the City True Stories. Let me encourage you to watch another episode of people and organizations having an impact in our community through our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Be encouraged because God is moving in our city.
God is